Have you ever stopped to think that money might be, well, spiritual? It sounds kind of weird, I know, but Jesus actually talked about it more than almost anything else. And when you think about it, it makes sense. How we handle our money says a lot about what's really going on in our hearts. In fact, the whole financial system of the kingdom seems to work completely backward compared to how the world does it. So let's unpack that.
To really get this, there's this incredible picture from the Holy Land itself. You've got two big bodies of water, both fed by the very same river. First, there's the Sea of Galilee. It's gorgeous, vibrant, just teeming with life. And why? Because water is always flowing in, and then it flows right back out. It's a channel, a river. But then, you have the Dead Sea. It's stagnant, super salty, and nothing, absolutely nothing can live in it. The reason is simple. Water flows in, but it never flows out. It just holds on to every single drop.
So, that metaphor kind of puts a tough question right in front of all of us, doesn't it? Which one of those are you? Which one am I? Is your financial life a channel for resources, like that beautiful Sea of Galilee, or has it become more like a reservoir, a swamp, where everything that comes in just sits there and stagnates?
So what's the real difference here? It's not the water source, right? They both get their water from the Jordan River. The difference, the game changer, is the outlet. And when we're talking about our finances, that difference really comes down to one core mindset. Do we see ourselves as the owner of everything we have, or as the manager?
And this gets us to the heart of it all, this one big idea, stewardship. It's a simple, but honestly, a revolutionary concept. You are not the owner of your stuff. You are the manager. I mean, think about it. When you think you own everything, it's so stressful. Every bill, every expense, it feels like a personal loss. But when you see yourself as the manager of God's resources, wow, there's so much freedom in that. You can hold everything loosely and just ask, okay, boss, where does this go next?
And listen, this isn't just some clever self-help trick. This idea is anchored right here in Scripture. Psalm 24:1 makes it crystal clear. God owns 100% of everything. We get so hung up on giving God 10%, but this verse is saying He owns the whole thing. The money, the house, our talents, our time, it all belongs to the owner. We're just looking after it for Him.
And that really shows you the two paths you can take. On one side, you've got the world's view, hey, it's my money, I worked for it. And that thinking leads straight to stress and hoarding, that Dead Sea mindset. But on the other side, you've got the kingdom view. It's God's money, I'm just the one managing it. And that leads to freedom and flow, the mindset of a river.
Okay, so if we want to be those managers who live in freedom and flow, how does it actually work? I mean, practically speaking, how do we get the water moving and become a river instead of a swamp? Let's get into the mechanics of how this whole thing operates.
This is where it gets really crazy and kind of turns our common sense completely upside down. The world's financial system is built on one idea: pile it up, hoard it, accumulate. But the kingdom runs on the exact opposite principle. It's a total paradox. What you scatter is what actually increases. What you give away is what you get back, and often it's multiplied.
So the source material breaks it down into two key actions that keep this river flowing. Step one is tithing, giving that first 10%. Now, this isn't because God needs our money, it's an act of honor. It's called a covenant connector because it's how we formally say, God, you're the source of all of this. Then step two is giving, everything on top of that. This is what kicks in the law of sowing and reaping. It's like a farmer who wants a harvest but never plants any seeds. It just doesn't work. Giving is what breaks the power of greed and proves that money doesn't own us.
So you've got these two opposite ways of thinking and two totally different sets of actions. So what's the payoff? What's the bottom line at the end of the day? Well, it takes us right back to where we started, to that picture of the two seas. And when you lay it out like this, the contrast is just, wow. On one side, you have the river. The mindset is, I am a manager. The result? Life, growth, freshness. And it even comes with this incredible promise of open windows of heaven. But on the other side, man, the Dead Sea. The mindset is, it's all mine. The result is stagnation, toxicity, death. And the promise? Being trapped in the grip of greed.
After seeing a comparison like that, the choice seems pretty obvious, right? I think we'd all rather be a vibrant, life-giving river than a toxic swamp. So, what's the first step? How do you actually start to unclog the pipes and get things flowing?
The source material points right here to this number as the starting line, the tithe. Now hold on, this isn't about legalism or some heavy-handed rule. It's about trust. In fact, this is the only place in the entire Bible where God literally says, test me in this. He's challenging us. He's saying, go ahead, try it, and see if I won't prove to you that I'm faithful.
It's like an experiment in trust.
So, how do you actually put this into practice today? The source lays out a really simple 3-step action plan. First, transfer ownership. This means literally taking out your wallet or your bank card and saying out loud, "God, you are the owner of this, I'm just the manager." Second, take the 3-month tithing challenge. Just try it for 3 months. Test that principle and just watch and see if your remaining 90% doesn't somehow go further than 100% did before. And third, sow a generosity seed. Do something totally unexpected. Pay for the coffee for the person behind you in line. Leave a ridiculously big tip. Do something that actively breaks that spirit of greed.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to that incredible paradox of kingdom economics. Everything our culture screams at us to cling to is actually what causes stagnation in our lives, and the very thing the kingdom invites us to release is what brings life, flow, and true gain. So the final question is really for you. What are you building? A river or a swamp?